How actually is the Sphere? It's crazy.
The Sphere is. This is the best way I can describe how amazing it was. I was watching the real fighters, so like we're right there. Okay, shout out to the UFC. Shout out Dana.
Oh, your seats were crazy.
Shout out Hunter.
Seats were nuts.
I'm gonna be honest with you. They were the best seats in the house. Like they would literally. The only better seats were the ones that were literally on the octagon. You know how like Rogan and them sit on the octagon?
Yeah.
And do you know who sat directly in front of us?
Rogan.
Jeff Bezos and his wife.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Like it was to the left of me is fucking John Jones and Arthur Jones and Chandler Jones. Those are his brothers. They're football players.
Yeah. Chandler Jones, I know. I didn't know that was his brother.
Yeah. And Arthur Jones played for the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Super Bowl ring, everything. I mean, it was just like
That's so
Kelly
crazy.
Slater, your
Kelly
surfing idol.
Slater, my fucking
I know. I
idol
thought about that.
growing up.
Yeah.
Surfer guy, right?
Surfing, like the goat of all goat surfer. I'm like, I couldn't believe it.
One of the few people I've seen you really be like starstruck by and
Completely
not like
starstruck.
not be yourself around.
Completely starstruck.
Yeah.
Like asking for picture. Like, I mean, it was so. Alex Pereira is another one down. Like it was.
That picture was nuts. It's you, John Jones,
Chris Brown, another one down. The comments on that picture were crazy.
The greatest fighters in history.
It was crazy. This is how dope. Can I just break this down? This is how fucking dope the UFC was. So we had the most amazing seats, right? But there's 6 of us. We roll pretty fucking deep.
Yeah.
What is that saying? It's like you want to go fast, go low. You want to go far, go with people. Like we always roll deep. And I know when this is like the fucking event. So they're like, don't worry, we got you. Their seats were, I think, the second best seats in the whole arena. Because they sat front row at the first thing up. So the first like elevation of seating, right? So now they're not looking at the back of anybody's head. Even if you were on the floor behind us, you're looking at me standing up like an asshole, excited the whole time. Like
You're looking at Bezos with giant shoulders. trying to
Bezos
see.
is fucking ripped back. You got 6'6" dudes just in the front row.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so you can't see. I mean, whatever. They just took care of it. They were great. It was awesome.
What's crazy about the room is then you hear people that were in like the 200 section and the 300 section. They love their seats because that's where you actually got the best experience of
the dome
The
itself.
Sphere is
Dome
kind
and
of
the
like
energy.
there's no bad seats.
Bro, it was. Oh, this is what I was going to say, like what it was. Okay. I was looking at the actual fighters fighting, and my brain couldn't distinguish that from a video game. Meaning, everything else that was going around, I think there's something happened in my head where it assumed that the octagon itself and the fighters in it were also some form of animation.
That was the Adderall.
Yeah, that might have been the drug.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You got a good point right there. But it was like...
It was cool in the videos I saw because you could hear the crowd like reacting to the graphics. Like a thing would fly over and everyone would be like, oh.
It was... Because basically they play these little vignettes in between the fights.
Yeah.
And the vignettes were just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The whole... I don't even think we've scratched the surface of what the Sphere will do for live entertainment.
I was thinking that all weekend.
It's like when I've said this before, but like it's literally like when they added sound to film. I think it will be that transformative. I think there'll be a Sphere in every major city, different sizes. Maybe you don't need a 20,000 seat Sphere if you're in a smaller city, but every city will have one. And that's where these specific types of events will take place. And I mean, it will just, it's just going to explode.
I don't know if you can build it logistically, but what if a football stadium is the Sphere? I was thinking that. I was like, oh, you need 100,000 seats or whatever. So I don't know if you could build it, but that's insane. Like,
so that would be awesome. It maybe will end up doing that. The tricky thing about the Sphere right now is that it's so cost prohibitive. I mean, like, in order to film something and create something for the Sphere, you got to do it in 14K. It takes 2 whole days to upload the stuff.
oh, wow.
Okay. And then you have to wrap it around and distort it. So I think hopefully AI will be able to do a lot of the creation of this, because right now the only bands that can be in there are groups that can stay there for like a month.
Yeah.
And then how many of those are there? Like, I bet you the UFC, actually, I don't know, because they probably just made so much money on the event, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lost money on the actual event just because they had to pay for the production of it.
I was wondering if they actually make money or not. And shouts to Dana. Aside from him taking care of you, I remember being like, this is so cool to take this on. What an ambitious undertaking for a live event. I can't imagine any other sports commissioner or whatever being like, yo, let's take this on one time just to make an event out of it.
Yeah. And they were fucking bummed about the last 2 fights being boring. And I get it, because it's like you put everything on it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is the entire world is watching. This is the moment. And then the last 2 were like stinkers, where it's like, yes, they won. Yes, they were more effective. But it just so happens that style of fighting isn't the most engaging.
Visually, it's not pleasing.
It's not pleasing. Like, the best thing for the UFC is when strikers are the best fighters.
Yeah.
That's what makes it the most engaging. You could track any, like, rise in popularity of the UFC over the years and guarantee it's when the best fighters are strikers.
Yeah.
Like, you had, Anderson Silva. You even had Chuck Liddell, the Iceman. Like, all these moments. Obviously, John Jones has a pedigree with, like, wrestling, but he's knocking motherfuckers the fuck out, too. Connor, Izzy. Like, you just track it. And it works.
Because a knockout is exciting. We talk about it. We replay it. We can't replay 1 minute of
just
Sean O'Malley being on the
somebody.
ground. Yeah, with somebody laying on top of him. Yeah. It's just not a highlight.
But what I will say is, after that, the conversation in Vegas was just about the spectacle.
Oh, dude. So I'm sure y'all saw this, but they would show outside the Sphere. They're just showing like the fights or whatever. Yeah. We were like, just imagine being in Vegas, walking by the Strip and seeing that event outside. Yeah. It's just nuts.
It was crazy.
And it looks amazing on a phone. Like, I thought it was just going to look great in the room if you're there. Yeah. But I saw everyone who was like filming, and I was like, holy shit, it looks like you're there when you're watching that.
Yeah, like, that's a good point.
How was it? Did any of you guys watch it at home?
Yeah.
Like, what was it like at home?
So again, the fight card was boring, but you could tell whoever was there was getting
just the last 2 were boring.
An event. Well, that's really all I got to see, because my shows ended at like midnight or whatever.
The one before the last 2 fights, or it was like 2 before that, so 2 guys who I had no fucking clue. It might be one of the greatest rounds of fighting I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, yeah. We heard you.
Did you see it? It was unbelievable.
The Diego Lopez, Brian Ortega fight.
No. That was insane, too. That fight was crazy.
Daniel Zeluber and that one.
These
Esteban
2 guys.
Rubovich.
Yeah, those are good fights.
Anyway, go on.
No, I was just saying how the fights earlier were really amazing. And then between the fights, they did like give you the wide angle and show the little movies in between, and they look phenomenal.
So the experience at home was still satisfying?
Yeah, it looks amazing on TV.
And did it, that's actually important.
Yeah.
Now, did it make you want to see an event at the Sphere?
Absolutely.
Very bad.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the big things, you saw the announcement that they're going to adapt Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I heard about that.
For the Sphere.
That's going to be nuts.
$80 million on that, reportedly. And then over New Year's Eve, like their big EDM play was this DJ Anima. I think he has like 6 or 7 dates around that time.
They keep on like adding. I after being there, I want to see a DJ. I think that's going to be.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be. And here's why. I don't know. I haven't seen the bands. I don't know how a band could actually do it, because if you really want the music to be choreographed with the animation, you can't let them play live.
Why is that? Mm-hmm.
Well, because if the songs switch with the animation and you riff it all, you take a moment, you stop, you talk to the crowd, you tell them a story, if that's not also baked in to the animation, or they don't have the ability to stop with you, now you're off.
Oh, I think a lot of those big DJs, it's all pre-taped and they're just making it.
That's why I say
that's what I'm saying.
No.
So DJ, I think it works because they just press play and then pretend to twist knobs. But if you're a band and like, let's say your lead singer wants to like say a few words,
which is what makes the show fun. Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
So I think it's one of those things where it's like, let's just see a DJ do it and then just create that immersive environment. And as you're fucking... I don't know if you're on drugs or not, but like as you're peaking, you're also looking at these visuals. I mean,
yeah. When I did Rogan, he and I talked about going to see Fish there. I don't know Fish, but apparently that's like you go do shrooms and you go watch Fish.
Yeah.
Well, that would make sense.
Them at the Sphere would be bonkers.
They did that, and
they don't have songs. Wait,
I think he was saying Fish was there.
Grateful Dead seem to have the
I thought
crazier
Fish and
visuals.
Grateful Dead.
Maybe.
But
I think
Grateful Dead have the crazier visuals. Coldplay, I think, would be box office there because they have stadium shows that have
they're great live out
lights
here.
and.
I mean, what I would just do is I'd say, hey guys, just pretend to play the instruments. like play them, but we're not going to have you plugged in or anything like that. We're going to have like, essentially you're going to be background track, like what they would do with like a Britney. And then just have that also for the instruments.
Doesn't that suck to do as a performer though?
I'm curious, does some of the costs like get offset since you don't have to pay for the screens and all that stuff to be built there?
Yeah, I think so. But I think that cost is so minimal compared to like producing the content.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like if it's a live performance, it's like they have the 2 big screens that is just the cam. And then you really just have to have some filler in between the screens that can be on loop.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be that crazy of a feat.
Yeah, but you want that video that's playing in the background that's like synced to the music to just be mind bending. And to create that, it's an expensive endeavor. And like, I mean, but it was fucking crazy. To me, this was the best advertisement for the Sphere. Like, I wish the UFC like owned a piece of the Sphere because the second I left, I was like, I need to see something else there.
Yeah, I was like, UFC, you got to go back.
Oh, UFC, I want them to do July 4th. I'm like trying to.
That would be insane.
Yeah. Like they did the Mexican Independence Day. All right, run it up.
So Jamil brought it up yesterday. What do you think? Knicks playing in the Sphere?
I don't know. I don't even know how you do basketball. I'm sure it'd be
Didn't
cool.
they do Summer League there?
Not in the Sphere, I don't think.
Oh.
They do it in Vegas.
I know they made the Sphere of basketball, so I thought maybe they had Summer League there.
Yeah, no, they were
That's
just
the
doing
thing. Basketball is like more constant, I feel like. Right?
Yeah.
Like you would just have like halftime and timeouts and shit, like quarters.
I don't even think I think the tech is so new, we can't even conceptualize
How to do it correctly.
what it could be.
Yeah.
Like we're like scratching the surface. Like right now we're like, okay, let's put these amazing videos on and you're in this immersive environment. That's like step one.
Yeah. In 1998, you didn't know you could make your entire career on the internet.
Yeah.
You just thought like, oh yeah, this is where you go look at porn and download music.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And now it's like, oh, this is everything.
I would just go see an old concert. I would just go see Michael Jackson in Berlin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like from like the fucking 90s on in the Sphere.
That'd be bonkers.
You know what I mean? Like just put on every great concert ever just in the Sphere.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah. Like you play the wall in the Sphere.
The tricky, and I think you could probably use AI to do it, but the tricky thing is the quality of video you needs to be so high to wrap it.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that like the Wizard of Oz shit that they're doing, like hopefully they can map that to.
This is the original Wizard of Oz movie?
I think so.
Because they got the Oz, or what's the new one coming out? Wicked?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
If
got
they have the
Wicked
old
coming
film negatives, like film is really it's not 14K, but it's usually 4 or 5K.
Yeah.
Original film. So certain movies might work
I
quicker.
love that they're leaning into the drug element. They're like, all right, we're going to put Grateful Dead. We're putting Wizard of Oz. Like, it's all like these psychedelic, like calling cards.
And I think that works. Anyway, a lot of people put money on this event.
Yeah.
You know, including Sugar Sean. He had a nice little parlay going. He lost that parlay because he lost.
Yeah.
So just to add, insult to injury, that is a big
rough.
bummer. Shout out to Sugar Sean. He's going to take some time off. You should.
Needed.
You deserve it. You made tons of money. You don't have to fight another day in your life you don't want to do. You already achieved your dream. Everything is there. It's locked in.
Yeah.
Who cares about anything else? If you do want to come back, hopefully you come back healthy. But shout out Steak, man.
Yeah.
Because Steak is allowing you to feel even worse after a loss. And that is why we support Steak so much. Okay? We don't want him to have like a little victory on the side of his loss. Like, what if he wasn't included in the parlay?
Ugh.
Right?
Yeah, we're not helping you as a person. We're helping you grow by making you lose more.
The next time, you are going to double down.
Yeah. He'll come back better. He'll train
Better,
harder. He'll never
stronger.
forget this.
You'll never forget. It's going to be that little chip on his shoulder. He's going to come back there. He's going to fight Merab again. He's going to beat this time. He's going to do an 8 fight parlay.
Yeah.
Mix it with different sport. I want you to let it rip, Sugar. Shout out to Steak. By the way, this segment has been brought to you by Steak, the leader in global betting and U.S. social casinos. Bet on top sports political events and use the promo code FLAGRANT for your welcome bonus. Now, let's get back to the show. Who is like a DJ that's big enough to hold that space?
I mean, like
Tygo or whatever. Yeah.
Tiesto or some shit. Like, I'm trying to think like.
Black Coffee.
Yeah,
Black no one has been doing the visuals that Anima and Tale of Us have been doing.
Yeah, Tale of Us would probably be the craziest.
But Tale of Us,
it's called?
Well, Tale of Us, half of Tale of Us is a guy Anima, and he's kind of gone solo.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who also just did the visuals. Did you see the Weekend show in Sao Paulo?
Is he the guy with the giant robot?
The Weekend.
No. Travis
Scott.
Travis Scott. Holy shit.
That would be crazy.
But I don't think there's another DJ could sell it out 6 times like Anima just did right now with those videos.
So here's the thing that I will say is that like 4 acts that are going in there, like let's say a Travis or let's say or the Weeknd that goes in there, there's going to be some novelty for the first few acts that go in. So even if you're an act that maybe you could do like 4 shows there normally, you'll do 8 simply because people are going to go, I need to see the first
I wonder if the
concert
multiplier is more.
It could be.
I wonder if it's like 3.
It could be.
Like,
And Travis Scott does stadium, so if he's doing 80,000, 20,000 at the Sphere, it's like I got to do 4 times the shows just off of that.
Yeah, the Weeknd might be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I just want to get lost. I really want to go see another thing there. So yeah, it was pretty fucking cool.